I just feel like I've been bamboozled. Like I should have seen this coming. It's been about an hour since I found out I was being laid off, and I'm just trying to process everything. Like I have so many emotions and thoughts all spiraling around in my head at once. Like I know everything's gonna be okay. No part of me is worried that like I'm not gonna be okay in all of this. But also I'm just mad and sad. No warning. I'm just like thought dumping. I'm getting laid off anyway, so I'm going to yoga at noon. I don't know. I'm gonna be okay. It's just not what I would have chosen for the next season of my life. 2023 was really difficult for me. I was overworked in a lot of ways. I wasn't taking care of myself. And 2024 was supposed to be the year where I made a bunch of changes. I took on less responsibility. This was supposed to be like a smooth sailing year to just like be content and be comfortable. This throws a wrench into how I thought this year was gonna turn out. Like I had no intention on leaving this company anytime soon. And now everything's up in the air. It's gonna be okay. It's just a shock to the system. Like it's just so unexpected. And I was content. I was. I don't know what I even want to do. I don't know where I go from here. I've still got 60 days, which is kind of honestly, like I appreciate what they're trying to do by giving us enough time to like figure out our next steps. But at the same time, that's a long time. Know that like you're gonna be leaving. I don't know. I think it's just a mindset thing, but that's difficult for me to wrap my head around. This really was a dream in so many ways. I did not get a degree in data analysis or even anything remotely in the field. I taught in a public middle school. I taught math for 3 years after college, and I knew that that's not what I wanted to do forever. And so I went online. I literally found Coursera from like an ad, or I think it was like a sponsored YouTube video. And I saw that they had like data analysis certificates. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this before, but I think this is what I want to do. This just like matches my skill sets so well. And so I took the certificate. It took me about 6 months. And then I job searched for about 2 to 3 months, which was really hard, like emotionally on myself. There were times when I kind of like gave up and stopped applying to like data analysis positions because I had convinced myself that I was just never going to find my dream position. I was applying for jobs that like I would have hated, but I just felt like I needed a job. And then I found this job. I learned a lot of marketable skills. This would be a lot harder right now if I had done a job that I didn't enjoy, that I didn't want to grow in, that I didn't see a future in. Like this job was what I wanted to do. And so like I have a 1.5 years worth of skills now. And I can take that and I can go do something with that. The world is my oyster. Like I know financially that I've set up like an emergency fund so that I don't have to jump into a job that I hate or that's not right just because I feel like I need to move on to a new job quickly. Whenever I cry a lot, it gives me like a pressure headache from like all of the mucus and everything. Benefits terminate on the last day of July. Writing that down. Which is the day after my birthday. Happy birthday. You're losing health insurance. Like, they have been planning this for so long. They've got all these resources all set up and ready to go. I just feel like I've been bamboozled. Like I should have seen this coming. My husband was even like, they might do layoffs just because we've had some transitional periods. These are my first thoughts. I'll have more thoughts. Thanks for listening to me babble. Just got back from yoga, and I have lots of messages from coworkers reaching out very kindly if I need to talk, and I'll give them a call in a second. Yes, you're adorable. I feel a lot better after going to yoga, except for that my head is still pounding. I had a lovely conversation with my boss, who is also a part of the group layoffs. So she's losing her job as well. She was so sweet. She was just like, I want to continue to mentor you and make sure that, you know, you end up where you want to be, and I'll pull from all of my resources to help you in this next phase. And I just thought that was so genuine and so kind. And I was like, she should be worried about her own job right now, but she's taking the time to like focus on me. And that really meant a lot. I'm gonna miss working with her because she's an amazing boss. So I think some of the shock has subsided. It just felt so out of the blue. Yesterday at the end of work, they just sent a notification that there was a mandatory meeting this morning. Didn't say anything about it. I didn't think anything about it. Then when we got to the meeting, it was like webinar style on Zoom, which I thought was strange because you can't see everyone. You can only see, you know, the speakers. And basically it was like 5 minutes. They were like, here's the restructuring we're doing, and you're going to receive an email in the next 15 minutes of whether you're being laid off or not. So there's still a lot to think about, but I'm going to choose to see this as an opportunity. I'm thankful for my time there. It sucks. It does, the way that it ended. It wouldn't have been what I chose, but I know that good's going to come out of this. So that's where I'm choosing to be right now. Just got off the phone with another coworker, and she's so sweet. This coworker did not get laid off. She was just like, she would be honored to write a recommendation along with the rest of her team. And it just gives me a lot of hope knowing that like there's so many people on my side of the court. I'm currently just like doing more of a brain dump and processing, just writing down like where I could go from here. What opportunities are available to me? What do I want to do? Because the last thing I want to do is jump into another job quickly just to move on and not love it and not have a passion for it. It's a beautiful May day. I'm thankful for the sunshine. Taking my contacts out because they're getting all cloudy. Probably from the crying this morning. It's only been 6 hours, not even 5.5 hours. But yet it has felt like a long time since I've gotten this news. Maybe that's just because I've literally done nothing today except for process and think and journal and brainstorm and dump. And please ignore my disgustingly wet t-shirt. I just got off the phone with our department head and then the department head of another department that I work closely with. And both of them were just so complimentary and kind and offered to do all the references and everything. This is like the first time that I've ever looked for a job where like I'm qualified. I have marketable skills. They were both just like, if it was up to us, you wouldn't be leaving, but it's not up to us. You know, they said this is our loss, not yours. And I'm like, well, it's a little bit of my loss, but I get where they're coming from. Part of this feels like I'm attending my own funeral. People are getting up at the stand and saying really nice things about me as I lay there in my casket. And it is the death of one journey, but thankfully it's the beginning of another as well. I think currently I'm just feeling embarrassed about how emotional I've been. Like I've been getting on the phone with people and I'm thinking rationally, I'm having coherent thoughts, but I'm just crying through them. Just know who I am, and I'm a crier for all emotions, and it's inevitable, but it is a little bit embarrassing, like talking to these people that I've had professional relationships with for the past 1.5 years, like crying as I'm trying to continue to be professional. You can be professional, you can have coherent, rational thoughts, and still cry. Both of those things can be true. That's what I'm trying to tell myself right now. My head still really hurts from all the crying though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go walk the dog so that I can shower and stop feeling like sweaty and gross. But first I'm gonna take an ibuprofen. It got spooky. There's a thunderstorm rolling in. It's time to call my parents. I called them when I got this job and I was so excited. FaceTime audio call my mom.
Starting a FaceTime audio call to mom, iPhone.
Hi, Mom.
Not sure how good my audio will be.
Let me call you back on my phone. Hey, do you have a second?
You okay? Everything okay?
Yeah. I'll call you in a second. Good morning. It's the next day. It's been 23 hours since I received the news yesterday. And honestly, it took me a little bit of time to fall asleep last night, but like not a lot of time. My mind was racing a little bit, but not so much that I was unable to sleep. Good morning, Stella. Did you come out from under the bed after you heard me talking? Yes, you're adorable. Yesterday afternoon, I pretty much called friends and family, told people that I needed to tell. I was getting dinner with my brother and my cousin, told them, talked through some things. And then I started working on my resume because I've actually found a job posting that I was like, that's perfect for me. That's exactly what I want to do. I'm slightly underqualified, but like what I'm coming to find out is everybody feels underqualified. No one feels like they know what they're doing. So if it's something I want to do, I'm just going to go for it. So today I have a deadline on something that I said I was going to have done this morning. I did not work on that at all yesterday, so that's going to be done later today. I'm going to work on that, and then once I'm finished with that, I'm going to keep working on my resume, hopefully apply to this job because I think it's been posted for a couple of weeks. So I want to get that in as soon as possible, which means I need to write my cover letter as well. Probably go to a coffee shop and get a food drink. I think I'm going to start my master's in data science slightly earlier than expected. I was kind of thinking of starting at the end of August, but they have a start date at the beginning of July. And so I think I will take that start date because that gives me, 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks, 5.5, to do a little more pre-work. Feel a little more comfortable with Python and R, which will also be great for my resume because I'd like to put those things on there as, technical skills that I have. So yeah, that's the plan for today. I'm feeling good. So many people that I talked to last night were like, don't feel like a failure. This isn't your fault. And I'm like, I don't feel like a failure. It just feels like, all right, this is the next step. This is the next thing. Not what I would have chosen, but I'm going to seize the opportunity. So that's where we're at. Even in 24 hours, like my ability to process this information, my body is no longer in shock. I'm no longer in denial that this is what's happening. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you're not going through the same thing, but if you are, you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.